Hello, everyone. My name is Izabella Stakley. I am from the Office of Educational Effectiveness. I'm currently a graduate student here at Stony Brook doing my MBA along with my MAPP. I'm also one of the co-chairs for the Student Assessment Council, and I work as a junior grant evaluation specialist. And I'm joined today with
Hi everyone, my name is Eliana Vargas. I am a junior studying biochemistry, and I am a student assistant at the Office of Educational Effectiveness as well as a co-chair of the Student Assessment Council.
Can everybody see my screen? Okay, perfect. So this group actually started when we were working during our undergrad. We were getting more involved in the assessment work, and we realized that there were no students involved in the assessment process. From here, we discussed this with our supervisor, and together we decided to form what is now the Student Assessment Council. The purpose of the Student Assessment Council is to engage more students in the assessment process here at Stony Brook. We wanted students to be active partners and not just survey takers. A big part of what we do is help students understand how to provide meaningful feedback to their departments and programs, and to explain why ongoing assessment is so important. Again, assessment is not just one step, it's always ongoing. Our goal is to make sure student input is not collected, but it is actually used to guide improvements. The council is really about elevating student voice, gathering meaningful insights, and ensuring those insights lead to positive change across the university.
Going into a quick overview of the demographic of the Student Assessment Council, so far we've had 7.7% freshmen as well as 7.7% sophomores, 38.5% juniors, 23.1% seniors, and 23.1% graduate students. We value a diverse background when it comes to year and standing because we want to be able to get different opinions and perspectives throughout Stony Brook. And of these students who have been in the Student Assessment Council, their majors include biology, political science, social welfare, economics, data science, data analytics, physics, biochemistry, and more.
Okay. Now we're going to bring it back a little bit and focus on what we did on year one. We focused on building the foundation of the Student Assessment Council. This is where we recruited members and we gathered students from all over campus by putting flyers up in the residence halls, dining areas, and other student spaces. From that outreach, we ended up with about 12 students joining the council in our very first year. We also wanted to make sure that this experience was meaningful and rewarding for them. So we structured the council as an internship. Students could earn EXP plus credit or receive an $1,000 stipend. This helped this helped recognize the value of their time and the insights they brought to the assessment process. On the right, you can see one of the early findings, which is 50% of our members strongly disagreed that the program objectives were clearly communicated to them. This highlighted the immediate need for better communication between the departments and students. As you can see, there is a gap. Students suggest improving in three categories: communication, familiarity, and the alignment of objectives. Okay, so for year two, we established bringing the overall question, what skills really matter for success, and how do students, professionals, and AI fit into the big picture? To answer it, we gathered insights from multiple groups so we could understand success from different perspectives. For example, we spoke with K through 12 students during Communiversity here at Stony Brook to learn about their dreams, goals, and long-term aspirations. capturing what success looks like at the very start of the learning journey. We then interviewed the community professionals to identify the workforce skills they believe matter most in real-world jobs. From here, the Student Assessment Council also surveyed and interviewed SBU students to hear directly about their academic experiences and their perspective on essential skills. Bringing all of these viewpoints together gave us a much deeper and more connected understanding of what skills truly matter and how students, professionals, and not AI, and all contribute to the bigger picture.
Going more in depth with what was spoken about in terms of Diversity Day, we first took data from pre-K to 12 students, and it was shown that majority of them had early aspirations to become a doctor or a teacher or a scientist, which are fields relatively in STEM, um, or in general, just helping others. And going into their favorite subjects, a lot of them had a favorite subject in math, which shows passion and care-focused passion at an early age. Going into the community members that were surveyed during Communiversity Day, a large amount of them either worked in healthcare or education. And for their most important skills, it was identified as communication being the most significant skill within any professional job. And this really goes to show how this care-focused and STEM-based passion from an early age can also progress into adulthood and later on in life. And then going on with the communication, it strengthens analytical thinking and strong organizational abilities throughout life. Lastly, we surveyed students here at Stony Brook. This was done throughout the course of a few weeks and across 44 students, majority of them were in either dentistry, applied mathematics and sciences, or mechanical engineering. All all majors which also are STEM heavy. And as for skills, all of them, or not all of them, but majority of them mention communication, which shows that the skills that are being learned now and are identified as the most significant go on into career and adulthood, which just overall shows the soft skills that are gained within classes and throughout students' times at Stony Brook.
Okay, so what can we take away from everything that we have gathered? Well, centering student voices in the assessment process is helping program improvement. Connecting classroom learning to real-world skills and career readiness is helping programs see where we can get the skills from the students that they're achieving in their classrooms and apply it to the real world. Using data, feedback, and collaboration to guide meaningful change. As we collected this, we were able to hear the students' voices, whether it's through the community, the members here in community at Stony Brook, and gather their feedback to see where we can change throughout the programs. Continuing to grow partnerships across campus and the community, and building on this work to expand the impact of the Student Assessment Council. So we really hope to continue expanding the council's role in connecting students to this broader picture of learning and success. Being part of efforts such as the curriculum mapping could help students see how their courses connect to the skills and experiences that shape their futures. Now, I would like to turn it over to you guys. Other than the Student Assessment Council here at Stony Brook, do you have any groups that are involved in the assessment process? What would you like these groups to contribute? And I just want to hear your overall thoughts on this. I will change the slide because I think we have a closing slide. Oh, yeah. And that is all. If you guys want me to go back for the other slide and questions, I can do that, but that is all. Do you want me to stop sharing my screen?
Does anyone have any questions? Sean, so you come off mute.
Yes, it's a comment mostly, but this is awesome. I think one of the most important things is getting student voices involved in this, and it being student driven is super, super helpful. Because the further we get away from being students, the less we know about being students. I think sometimes I'll sit on committees and people will go, well, you were a student here. I say, yeah, 12 years ago. It doesn't really resonate anymore. So you guys driving that is really, really important. And, we really appreciate those insights. What have you found was sort of the best way of kind of soliciting that involvement or those opinions? We're always looking to figure out the ways in which students really prefer to communicate, on a daily basis.
Yeah, so I feel like after we had gathered students from around campus, the best way to really bring them together is seeing other students involved in the process, right? So it's hard to talk to faculty because you feel like pressure to say the right answer and there can be some type of bias in that.
Mhm.
But when you're just showing them that this is an open space for them to communicate however they feel about their program and that this is feedback that we want, it will show them like, oh, like this is okay how I feel about my program. This is normal. And they will validate your feelings and show how they feel as well. So I feel just having that open community, having that open space, and at OEE, we do have some of the people come in for speakers. Like Diana has came in and she has spoken a little bit about the assessment process. So we do bring in the faculty here and there, but it's not like overall the students run the Student Assessment Council. And then we have also shown intake on what we have learned. So I've been here for over 4 years now. So I can say that, like, yeah, guys, like this is normal. Like I didn't know where to find my PLOs in the beginning and show them from experience, where you can find this as well. So
That's awesome.
I have a quick question. Thank you for your presentation. Sorry I was a little late. So I was curious to hear what's one thing that um, both of you have learned through being, in the Student Assessment Council.
yeah, well, I think my biggest takeaway from being a part of the Student Assessment Council is how meaningful it is to just have this space where students can perceive their perspectives and understand that it truly matters. I know that faculty will say like, oh, don't forget to fill this out and it will be a survey. And some faculty look at it, some don't, but we actually take what they say and apply it. So I've learned that assessment just isn't about, really collecting data and just doing surveys as well. It's really about listening and implementing the feedback that you get, understanding really like the experiences of these students and using that information to improve the programs in ways that better support the students. Um, so yeah, I really think that's the most impactful thing.
To go off what Isabella said, I would say the most significant thing I've taken away from the Student Assessment Council is just seeing the involvement of these students in a way that isn't typically seen. Typically, when people think of student involvement, they think of extracurriculars such as clubs, but in this way, they really have a direct voice and say in what is going on with their assessment, and just seeing the way that they become more knowledgeable about assessment is really enlightening because people come into the assessment council not knowing much about it, but then even after the first day, they have a little bit more understanding of what it really is and why it's so impactful to them.
Thank
I have
you.
a question. Oh, I'm sorry. Is there a way that we can connect with you with the council? Is there Instagram or something else that we can connect with you?
Yeah, so we do have an email, which is studentassessment@stonybrook.edu, but we also have an Instagram. I believe it's SBU_student assessment, and that is where we are active and how we communicate most.
Thank you.
And I think for the record, for if some people are going to watch this later too, might want to put out there, how can we help spread the word? If we see students, what can we tell them about getting involved? Where should we send them? If we see some folks that might be interested.
So yeah, I think overall you can send them to the OEE website, and we're working on getting a link and QR code to direct them to our Instagram and fill out any forms that they need to fill out. So just direct them to the OEE page.
Will do. Awesome.
And I have provided both the student assessment email, and Eliana has provided the Instagram for the Student Assessment Council as well in the chat.
All right. Thank you so very much for this presentation. I think we've all learned a lot. We're excited to, check out what you're doing on your different pages. So thank you very much. I will give you back some more time in your day. And if you would like, you can see this viewed on probably our YouTube channel within the next couple of weeks. So thank you very much for joining us today.